Yesterday, Honors Algebra 2 students had a big project due. Mrs. Lamel and Mrs. Westerfield provided these students with 3 non-routine problems. These non-routine problems have no formula and must be solved by using logical mathematical skills. Students had 3 weeks to solve one of the 3 problems and then write a 2-page report over it.
Trees are budding, flowers are blooming, birds are singing. Spring has come to Friendswood. Lori Hearn gives a report on the change in the season.
After a long and dismal winter, Friendswood welcomes the newness of spring. Once desolate trees are now in full bloom, and April showers bring May flowers. This has been Lori Hearn, NCS News.
Just this week, the morning announcements have changed from being broadcast over the PA system in the school to a live announcer right here in our studio. Immediately following Channel 1, opening titles to the announcements are accompanied by an instrumental composition written and performed by Joey Burnson. Reporters from the MCS news staff will vary from week to week, and last-minute announcements will still be broadcast over the PA.
We'll be back with Peter Brown and the junior high news, and then later we'll visit the training room.
Now with this week's junior high news is Peter Brown. Peter?
Thanks, Charlotte. On Monday, progress reports were issued to inform parents of their son or daughter's average for the middle of the 6-week grading period. All students who currently have an average of 75 or below will have their progress reports mailed to their parents today. These progress reports must be signed and returned to teachers next week. 7th, 8th, and 9th grade choice sheets were turned into homeroom teachers on Tuesday. School was on a special activity schedule, so the choice sheets could be turned in at the end of the day. On Tuesday night, there was a choice sheet meeting for the parents of students currently in the 5th grade in the cafeteria from 7 to 9 p.m. Shannon Little, a 7th grade student at FJH, recently was notified that her poem has made the semifinals in a National Library of Poetry contest. Shannon now has a good chance of winning one of 70 cash and gift prizes or the $1,000 grand prize. Whether or not she wins a prize, Shannon's poem will be published in the forthcoming anthology, Windows on the World, Volume 2. This book will be published this summer. There will be a book fair in the library for parents and students April 15th through 19th. The book fair will be open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday and from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Thursday night. Friday it will be open from 8 a.m. to noon. The Southwest Book Company will supply all the books for the fair. There will be a paperbacks as well as hardback books, and Visa, MasterCard, and personal checks will be accepted. All 8th graders are required to take 1 semester of reading and 1 semester of careers. This year, businesses are coming into the classroom with Project Business, which is already well into the 2nd semester. The Career Investigations classes have approximately 160 students in the Junior Achievement Program. 7 Project Business consultants visit each week from Rockwell International, and 1 consultant visits from Shell Oil Company. There will be a scoliosis screening in April for all 8th grade students. The screening will be conducted during PE and athletics classes. Scoliosis is lateral curvature of the spine. If Mrs. Hagen notices any symptoms of scoliosis, she will refer them to a family doctor. If the degree of the curve is over 10 degrees, the patient will be referred to a scoliosis specialist, and necessary operations and treatments will be given. Yesterday, the girls' tennis team played several matches against McAdams Junior High at the high school tennis courts. The district tennis tournament will be in about a month. Also yesterday, the 7th and 8th grade boys track teams competed against the boys freshman track team in a dual track meet. The meet took place at 4:30 p.m. at the high school track. That's it from the junior high. Now for weather, Steve Franzik. Steve?
Thanks, Jason. Well, it was a really rainy weekend, day, for the East Coast and most of the Gulf Coast, with this very huge cold front coming in off of what was the Great Lakes. The area between the mid-states had a lot of low pressure systems, which created two other cold fronts in this area. California had a really nice weather with partly sunny. Mostly sunny, and it was pretty snowy over in Oregon. Okay. The East Coast had moderate temperatures between 60s, 70s, and 80s, and Florida had really nice weather, and Gulf Coast had slightly warm and a bit dreary weather because of most of the rain. The mid-sections of the U.S. were 40s, and as we went over towards California, it got a little bit warmer and a bit nicer because of all that rain that they're getting after all those droughts. Local conditions, low temperature is 61, high temperature is 83, the barometric pressure is 29.57, and it's slowly dropping. Rainfall for the month is 1.06 inches. And that's weather for now. And now back to the sports desk with Jennifer Waldner. Jennifer?
Thanks, Steve. On Tuesday, the varsity tennis team played Angleton here. All 8 matches were won. Elisa Weldon and Grace Goodgame won number 1 doubles, 6-0, 6-0. Megan Marlowe and Jenny Johnson also won 6-4, 6-4. Christina Hortz was victorious in singles, 6-1, 6-3. Leslie King split sets, 6-4, 4-6, 6-4, and won. The boys did just as well, with Brandon Burris winning in 3 sets, 6-4, 3-6, 7-5. John Houghton also won in 3, 6-4, 2-6, 6-4. Both doubles teams, Matt King and Jeff McAllister, and Patrick Massey and Jonathan Rogers, won, winning 6-2, 6-3, and 3-6, 6-0, 6-3, respectively. The district tournament will be held here on April 9th and 10th. This past Friday, the Fighting Mustangs soccer team went to Dickinson to play against the Gators. Coach Lazaro had this to say about the season.
We had a pretty good season. We had some ups and downs. We had some problems when it came to injuries and a couple of ineligible players with grades, but apart from that, we had a very successful season.
The team finished district with 6 wins, 6 losses, and 6 ties. After the Mustangs beat Dickinson 2-1, Berndy Strossner scored the first goal, ending the first half with a tied score. In the second half, the Mustangs came back, fighting with Ray Urteski kicking another one in for the Mustangs. There were 3 red cards issued to the Gators and 1 to the Mustangs, but Friendswood still came out on top. Overall, this beats last year's record of 7 wins, 9 losses, and 2 ties. The Friendswood Chamber of Commerce is sponsoring a City Chamber softball tournament. The tournament will take place on April 27th at the Friendswood Sports Park on FM 528. The tournament is just for fun, and co-ed teams are invited. Entry fees are $40 for Chamber and City employees and $50 for all non-members. Call the Chamber office for more information at 482-3329.